Good morning, everyone. Hello. We are currently live on YouTube, currently live in the Beat Floor Studio Facebook page. And we are going live in the Learn How to Make French Beaded Flowers Facebook group. All right. It always takes an extra minute or for that to go through. So, yay. Good morning. Today is January 29th, 2025, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you are joining me live right now, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And yeah, hello. Good morning. Let's see. It's a nice 30-ish degrees here in the Midwest USA and a bit windy though. So there's that. Did not like it. Too windy for me. Okay, it needs to be the right weather, nice 60-ish. Okay, so today we are back. Last week there was a little bit of a hiccup where the video was a little bit blurry. Thank you so much to everyone that kind of muddled through it. We have Louise here with me. Hello, Louise. Good evening. Good evening, Louise. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Let me know if the video looks okay, because I am indeed on a good connection today, unlike last week. So again, that's why we are going to make the necklace again, and we're going to make the ring today. So we will be working on French beaded daisy jewelry. Today we will be remaking the necklace. So if you missed it last week, here we are again. And then also we'll be making a ring. So I was remaking the samples last night. So I have more samples to demo today. So I'm going to have a lot of daisy necklaces, at least 3 or 4 daisy necklaces. So what am I going to do with all these necklaces? I don't know. But I made the ring, and I kind of redid the pattern for the ring. So it's a lot more easier. So before the ring was kind of a intermediate / advanced pattern. Now it is just an intermediate pattern. So yay. So it's a lot easier to make. All right, looks like we have Natia joining us here from Germany. Hello. Okay, so don't want to waste time. Let's get started, okay? If you watched the first video from the couple of weeks ago, we made the bracelet, and I showed you how to make a toggle clasp. So I may or may not demo the toggle clasp. I probably will, because I need another toggle clasp. I did not make that last night, but it's quick and easy to do. So we probably will make the toggle clasp today. So if you missed it, for some reason I don't demo it, I probably will. Go watch the first video. Okay, I'm going to put the information for the class on the screen here. Okay. So if you want more information on the class, you can use your phone and take a picture of the QR code. It'll take you to the info for the class. All right, let's get started. We will be starting. We'll be making the focal right here. And to get the PDF, you can go on the Learn How to Make French Beaded Flowers Facebook group. That is uploaded to the files. And I've also emailed to my mailing list. So if you are on my mailing list, you will have the PDF. If you're watching on YouTube or the Facebook group, guys, join the Facebook group or sign up for my mailing list. Okay, so we'll be making the focal today. And we will need 35 inches of bead wire. That is 88.9 centimeters of wire. I'll be using purple wire today. You at home, you probably want to use silver or gold or whatever neutral color wire you have. But I'll be using purple so that it shows a lot better on camera. Right. So let me move all the stuff out of the way. Too much stuff. These are the tools that we'll need. We actually don't need 2 pairs of pliers. We just need 1 pair of pliers. All right. Okay. Let me switch screens here. Okay, looks like we have Sharon joining us. Sharon's asking, am I here? Yes, you are, Sharon. You are here. You are here. Okay, so if someone can let me know if the video looks okay, if it looks sharp, that would be great. Okay, so I'm guessing it's probably fine, but a confirmation would be great. Okay, so I'm gonna set these aside because these are all the samples that I've made. But I'm going to show the beads we'll be needing are size 11 yellow beads, size 11 white beads, and size 11 green. So you don't need to use any specific finishes. They're just, use whatever beads you have, or even not these colors. So use whatever colors you want. All right. Okay. To get started, we will need 35 inches of the wire here. That'll be, okay, so that's 12, 24. Oh, okay, new wire. Why is that wire on here? I'll just put that wire back on the spool. Okay, so let's try again. 24, so 30, 35, 35 inches. Set that aside. Okay, so we are on page. I don't even have the page numbers on here. What the heck? Where are the page numbers? Oh, it didn't print. But anyways, you want to go on the daisy necklace page, and we'll be making the focal. With a 35-inch length of wire, make a 1 bead basic frame with color B, which is yellow, with 2-inch top basic wire, 1-inch twisted wire in loop. The base for my bead spinner. So what I have done with the bead spinners is I'll be using 1 base, and then I will be switching out the bowls. I started doing that in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and I find that if I'm working with more than 1 color, I prefer to switch out the bowls, because then I'm always spinning at one spot when I'm using the bead spinner, and I find that I am like putting the beads back in the bowl correctly if I do that, because if I'm using all 3 bowls at the same time and I'm removing excess beads, chances are I'll put it in this bowl or that bowl or that bowl, and all the beads will be all mixed up. So there is a less likely chance for me to put the wrong beads back in whichever bowl if I use this method. So that's the method I'm using. If you have just 1 bead spinner, you can dump your beads out and then pour it back in. Okay, so I'll be starting with the yellow beads. All right, Natia confirmed that the video looks great. So yay. Okay. All right, on our wire, we want a 1 bead basic. So let's just put 1 bead on here. Of course, it's excessive to use a bead spinner for 1 bead. Let's zoom in here. All right. think that looks okay. Now I'm paranoid. Now I'm paranoid about the clarity of the video. Okay, so 2-inch top basic wire and 1-inch twisted wire loop. 2-inch, that's 5 centimeters, and 1 inch is 2.5 centimeters. So 2-inch top basic and 1-inch twisted wire and loop. Okay, straighten everything out, and we're going to put more of color B on here. We are putting all of the units, the petals, the center, and the calyx all on one wire. So you want to use a neutral color wire because they're all going through. Now you can see on the purple wire, you can see the purple coming through of the yellow wire, and normally we don't want that to happen. I just put a bunch of beads on here, and I'm going to make a knot. And now we're going to make rounded top, rounded bottoms, 6 rows. Back to the front. At 6 rows, we will have the working wire at the top basic wire. Now for these patterns, some of them I end at the top, some of them I end at the bottom. So it all depends if I want 5 rows or if I want 6 rows. This one looks a bit loose. I'm going to wrap it around more tightly. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, remove the excess. Okay, now we are going on with the white beads, or color A. And let's string a bunch of beads on here. You are just joining us. We are making French beaded daisy jewelry. Right now we're working on the focal for the daisy necklace. So for this pattern, okay, let me show you the pattern here. So for the petals, we're going to need 14 16 bead continuous loops. So we'll need, and I've told you this before, when it says 14, we want to divide them in half because we have the left row and we have the right row. So we want 7, we're going to make 7 loops first. Oh, let me move it. We're going to make 7 loops for this side of the row, and then we're going to make 7 loops for this side. So we're going to make 7 16 bead loops first. All right. Just want to clarify that. So 5, 10, 15, 16. Hold on to the end here. Just leave a bit of space so there's room to wrap, and hold on to this so it's nice and tight. And I like to flip, cross the wires underneath, put your nail right underneath the beads here, and twist. Now we have our 1 loop. I'm just going to pinch it a little bit, not too much. 5, 10, 15, 16. Okay. And between these, we want about 2 millimeter spacing here. If it makes it easier, you can put a bead in between like this. Put a bead in between. And make your loops after that. Okay. 5, 10. Okay. If you are just joining me, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. So last week we had someone join us and they don't even make French beaded flowers, but just decide to say hello. And I think that's quite fun. I've had some people just watch for the sake of watching, just to hang out, which is fine too. So if you are watching, let me know. Okay, so how many do I need? I need 7 loops. So 15, 16. With making the continuous loops like this, well, for me anyways, I find that it's easier for me to do the flip technique with the continuous loops than to do the pinch. But that's also because I'm used to the flip, not the pinch. Okay, so we're going to take this here and wrap it around the twisted wire. Position the wire underneath the loops, underneath the center slightly, so that it's not showing up towards the front. Okay, looks like we have Myra joining us. Hello. Myra says she's making some flowers like this. Awesome. Happy to hear that. Okay, I'm going to pinch this a little bit. Okay, now so we have our 7 continuous loops. I'm going to string some more beads on to my wire and string a bunch of beads on. And Myra says, but your lessons are so much easier. Thank you. Thank you, Myra. I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. So I probably have more than I need. Make our knot again so our beads don't fall out. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, 5, 10, 15, 16. And flip and twist. Sounds like an exercise routine. Flip and twist. If you find that the wire just kind of moves out of the way or whatever, well, put it back, right? Put it back. Okay, 10, 15, 16. Pinch it just a little bit. Okay, how many do I have? I have 3 right now. So 5, 10, 15, 16. So it's easier for me to do when I'm counting, to do it in multiples of 5s. Okay. 5, 10, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 2 more. And like I mentioned last week, you know what? I lost my thought. What did I say last week? I don't remember. Sorry. Gosh. I forgot what I was going to say. Get those moments? Because I sure do. Okay, so now take these and place it behind the center. And now we're going to wrap it around the top basic wire. Wrap it around the top basic wire, just like that. All right. Now let's remove the excess beads. Okay, so we have our center, our petals. Now we're going to work on the calyx, and it's going to be all on one continuous wire. Let's undo the twisted wire, any twists in the twisted wire. And let's cut along right here, leaving one long wire and the other one, a small little nub. We're going to pinch it or fold it back along the center like this. All right. Straighten everything out, undo the loop here. Now we're going to fold the top basic wire towards the center and fold it back up like this. And we're going to do the same with the other tail wire. Fold it along the center and fold it back up like this. Okay, so now we have our 2 tail wires and our 1 working wire. Again, also we want to fold it along the center, and then we're going to wrap it around the 2 tail wires just a few times so that it's nice and secure, like 3-4 times. Okay, now we're going to switch over to our green beads to do our calyx. So string on a bunch of beads. And for the calyx, we'll need 5 16 bead continuous loops. I don't need so much beads. Okay. Make a knot here at the end. So I'm going to fold the tail wires just so that's out of the way when I'm beading. Okay. Hold on to this spot here, leaving about 1 to 2 millimeters. And we're going to do our 16 bead loop, flip, cross, hold on to the cross here with your nail and hold on to it tightly. So see how I'm holding on like this and twist. If you find that you're fumbling, pay attention to how I'm holding the unit. How I'm holding it is important to keep it in place. So how I'm doing it is I have my finger on the center here from the back or the front, okay? and I'm pinching it like this. And I'm holding on to right here with my thumb. So hold on like to it nice and firm. And then count your beads, 5, 10, 15, 16. Hold on to each end and make our cross. Hold on to the bottom. So you can also pull on the working wire to make sure it's nice and secure. If there's any bare wire space here, pulling on here will help. Okay, and we're going to twist, twist, twist. And I'm going to pinch this here. I don't want too much of a loop. Okay, hold on. 5, 10, 15, 16. Okay, I'm fumbling. So sometimes that happens. So just got to get your fingers in position. Twist, twist, and pinch. Okay, I need more beads. Almost there. 10, 15, 16. Okay. Just a little bit more beads. Sometimes that happens. Five, 10, 15, 16. All right, there we go. Okay, you got it. Pinch this a little bit. Now we're going to take the working wire and just wrap it around underneath, well, in between the petals and the calyx. Just wrap it around a few times, 2 to 3 times, until it's nice and secure. And what we're left with, and we have 3 tail wires. Okay. And we want to have, we're going to make some wrap loops at 3 different points, just so that we can connect our necklace here, here, and here. So we're going to need it at 3 points. So to do that, okay, I need to secure my wire a bit more. Okay, position it nicely. Okay, well, fix your flower. Fix it. Because after we make it, it looks like a mess and we need to fix it. Here we are. Okay, look at the front and kind of determine where you want to have the loops. So I want it, sometimes you may want it like this, or you may want it like this. So I think I want it like this. So now I'm going to position my wires where I want them. So one here, and one here. So position, well, this here. Okay, so with this one, I'm going to do it here. I'm going to pull the calyx out just a little bit. Take the wire here, fold it along like you were to do a crossover, but without the beads. Okay, and cross over over the top of the loop. And now let's take the wire and thread it through. And let's take our pliers and pull. I'm going to do the same for the other 2. Add it along right here. Thread it through. And pull. If you are just joining me, we are making French beaded daisy jewelry, and I am using purple so that it shows a lot better on camera, but you might want to use a different color. Okay, where do I want this? I said I wanted it here, but do I want it like this? Because the calyx is here. I'm not going to move this here. Move this and have have it right over here. Okay. Okay. And if you see some white of your wires here, push it so it's underneath the center so it's less visible. Okay, now we're going to make our wrap loops. I'm going to put 2 beads on to the tail wire here. And to make the wrap loops, we need our chain nose pliers, round nose, and cutters. Okay, we're going to be using all these tools all at once. Okay. So let's take our chain nose, put it in between, put the wire in between the chain nose, and let's bend this at a 90-degree angle. So it's like this. All right, now we're going to use our round nose. Put the wire in between the round nose. Depending on how big you want the little eye, the loop, you can put, I don't want it to be incredibly small, but I don't want it to be incredibly big either. So I'm going to put it right over here. Bring it over the top barrel. Now remove it and then put the eye, the loop, and put the bottom barrel through the loop and wrap it around like this. Take your pliers, hold on to it firmly, nice and firm, and then wrap the wire. Coil it about 2 to 3 times. Because we are using 26 gauge wire, it could be 4 times depending on how, depending on the wire that you had underneath the loop. Okay, 1. Okay. I've got 2 beads on here. The reason why I'm putting beads on there is I just need it to build up more space. I needed more height there. Okay. 26 gauge wire is a little bit fiddly to make wrap loops. I would use, normally if I were making wrap loops, I prefer 24 gauge, but we are using the wire that is best suited for this project for the flowers, and it is 26 gauge. I don't recommend that you use any other gauge for the flowers. It would be harder for you to wrap. Okay. But I guess using 26 gauge, it's a little bit harder for you to make your wrap loops. So choose your poison. What is more important for you? Okay, Sharon, we are For making the flowers, I recommend that you use 26 gauge wire and not 24 gauge wire. But for making normally, when making wrap loops, it's best to use 24 because 26 is more fiddly. But it would be harder to make the flowers using 24 gauge wire for this project. So that's why we're using 26 gauge wire. I rather deal with the fiddly wrap loops than harder for you to make the loops, to make the beaded loops, because there are different types of loops that we're talking about here. All right, so tuck this in after you cut. I have a more in-depth tutorial on making the wrap loops in the first video for making the bracelet, so check that out if you want more detail where I go on and on more at length about the wires and how to make the loops. Okay, so I don't want to make this lesson too incredibly long either by going over the lessons that we have already gone through. Okay, so we have our focal, and now we are ready to assemble. Well, I'm ready to assemble. You guys aren't yet. But for this necklace, let me show you, okay? Let me zoom out. That's as far as it'll go. All right. So we have one focal, which we just made. Okay, let me stand over here a bit. So we have our one focal, and then we have three of daisy A, 3 of daisy B, and then we have one daisy C right here. And then we're going to make daisy C's one to the length of that you want your necklace to be. So for me, 3 on each side is enough to go around my neck. So you may need to make more if you want a longer necklace. You can make less if you want a shorter necklace for like a child or something. So, so for me, I just need 3 on each side. So you just make it so it is the length that you want. Okay, so for those that don't have the PDF, I'm going to go over the pattern here. So for daisy A, we want, like I said, we want to make 3. It's a 1 bead basic frame. And we're going to make their round top, round bottom, and there's 5 rows. So for here, for the petals, you'll need 12 13 bead continuous loops. So that means you want 6 loops on each side. And then you'll want 1 wrap loop and then 1 unwrapped loop. And you'll see later when I assemble on why. Okay, and for daisy B, again, we'll make 3 of those. It's back to daisy A, you need to cut 29 inches or 73.6 centimeters of wire. For daisy B, again, we'll need 3 on a 23-inch length of wire. You need a 1 bead basic, again, round top, round bottom, 4 rows for the center. Let me see, do I have a sample here? So 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for our petals, you need 10 bead continuous loops. So you want 5 continuous loops on each side. Did I say you need 23 inches? I don't know if I did or not. If I didn't, you need 23 inches. So write that down or watch the replay and then take notes from there. All right, for daisy 3, again, like I said, you need to make the amount for the length of your necklace. But we do need one like this. With this, I've updated the PDF. For this one, you do want to have, we're going to make 1 wrap loop at the top, but do an unwrap loop because we'll be attaching it on to onto the bottom here. So just make one wrap loop, but unwrapped, okay? And, oh, you need 21 inches of wire, 1 bead basic, round top, round bottom, 3 rows, and then you'll need 10 7-bead continuous loops. And I demoed Daisy C in the bracelet lesson. So that video from 2 weeks ago. So if you want to see how I demoed this, go back to that video from 2 weeks ago on where I made the bracelet. You'll need to make, well, like I said, however many you need. So start out with 6, and then if you need more, then you need more. Okay. All right, let's assemble. I think I covered everything. If I didn't, let me know in the chat. Ask me in the chat if I missed something, which is very possible. Very possible, right? Okay, so let's assemble. Daisies assemble. Okay, so this is how we're gonna have it. So Daisy Focal, Daisy A, Daisy A. I'm missing something. Daisy A, BB, B. Okay, one more. Where are all my daisies? Where you at? Okay, oh, I have this one here for the bottom. Okay. You're not seeing that, you can't see the top, but you get the idea. Okay, so what am I missing? For this one, I need to actually finish it. I didn't finish it when I made the sample. Need to have 2. Okay. Need to wrap one of the tail wires around and trim. Make a wrap loop. It's too incredibly long. So, like I mentioned in the first video, when well, I don't remember if I mentioned this or not, but I probably did because I say a lot of things. I usually overestimate the wires that you need. When I do cut lengths of wire, I overestimate the wires that you need. So that's why this is so incredibly long, because of the different bead brands and how each of us bead. Chances are, if I give you the length that I need, you may need more wire depending on your brand, or you may need less depending on the brand. I use Japanese seed beads. They're bigger than Czech seed beads. So my wire lengths will be longer than if you were to use Czech seed beads. So if you are using Japanese seed beads, then chances are you can go with my lengths and then adjust after you make your first one. because depending on how you bead, you may need more wire than what I estimate. Okay. In this one, I'm going to do a unwrap loop. Okay. Now I'm ready to assemble. All right. So with this here, I'm going to take our focal. Do I want it like this? Or do I want it like this? Or like this? So let's do it like, oh, decisions. So many decisions. Let's do it like this, okay? So with our unwrap loop, we're going to thread this through like this. I'm going to zoom in so you can see better. I'm going to unthread it so you can see. Put this through the loop. So let's thread it through and linked it together. Now let's take our pliers and just hold on to the center here so that both of the loops are held on by the pliers, and wrap a few times to make your coil. Okay. And you're right, Natia, the two cut beads are larger. So if you are using larger beads, cut more wire. But I saw the flower that you made with the two cut beads. It's beautiful. I can't wait to see your finished bracelet that you made with the two cut beads. Okay, so now we have this attached. Now let's attach another one. So with I made this as an example to show you guys that you don't need to, you can leave both of them unwrapped. And so this is a daisy A. I'm going to this. Or you don't need to, you can just start the loop as you're making it. You don't need to, you can even leave it unwrapped, right? And then just do the whole process as you are attaching, if that is easier for you. Okay, make sure to tuck that little wire in, because you don't want to, when you're wearing your necklace, you don't want it poking your neck. And I've had that happen. It was like, why is it poking me? Because I didn't tuck it in well, right? Because I didn't tuck it in. Okay, so where am I? Okay, so now we're like this. What did I do? Oh, now, okay. Let's go like this now. Okay, let's put a daisy A on the bottom here. So take this, thread it through. Now they're linked. Hold on and wrap. Tuck it in real good. Flatten this out if it's not. If it's all if it's not flattened out, depending on the position of your wrap loop, you may have your flower going like this or like this. So flatten this out if it gets, weird. Okay, where am I? Where are we? So we have our two focals. Okay, like this. Okay, no. Oh, this is too big. This is also a flower. This is also the size of a focal. I don't want that. I want this one. Oh, well. Okay, so I'm going to cut this here because I thought this was Daisy A. Or, yeah, I thought this was Daisy A, but it's actually a focal. So now I have to, because I made a mistake, I have to cut this and throw it out of the way and use the correct one. Let's do this here. That was just an extra sample that I made because I wanted to test out the wire lengths. Because last week I used the white wire length, but I didn't have enough wire. So I must have made a mistake somewhere. Because I'm like, I made so many of these using this wire length. Why wasn't it working? So I'm like, did I make a mistake in the PDF or did I make a mistake in the beading? So I still don't know what I did with the beading that I didn't have enough wire, but I tried it again, and that's why I have an extra one. And the PDF is correct. I did something. I did something. Okay, so next, we're going to do a Daisy B right along here. This one. Okay. Hook it through. Okay. Right. So now with this, I'm going to attach that one Daisy C with the one wrap loop at the top. So that's our middle dangle. Our dangle of daisies. And tuck. Okay. Where are we now? Okay, so we have our dangles. Now attaching the Daisy B's here. Where's that wire? It's important to tuck. You don't want to hurt yourself when you're wearing it. Okay. And because I had two unwrapped loops here, I'm going to wrap this one. You are just joining me. We are finishing up on attaching a beaded daisy necklace, a French beaded daisy necklace. I'm going to put the QR code on the screen. So if you need more information on this class, you can go on there. So if you buy the kit, you'll get continued access to watching the replay. If you got the PDF, you'll get continued access to watching the replay. Right. Some of them I made wrap loops, some of them I did not. So where am I? Okay. Here's where I want it. Okay, so Natia wants to know what I'm doing with all my necklaces. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought it that far. Maybe I'll give it away to friends. I'm sure my daughter will want one. You know, I only have one neck, but I have like so many demos. Well, I mean, with the rings too. I will have lots of rings, but I can only wear one. Okay. Here. Okay. Right. One more on this side. By leaving these unwrapped, you get, I guess, a lot more options. What you want to do later, in case you make a mistake making the wrap loops. So this one, we're going to put a toggle on. I'm going to leave it unwrapped for now so that later, just in case something happens, it gives me more options. All right, so now this side. Now, all the daisy C's. And these, again, make as many as you need for the length of the necklace that you need. The thing with doing the partial loop is that we use a lot less tools as we are assembling, because if you do not make your loops, you'll be needing all 3 tools. So I guess assembling wise, you will save more time. Is this loop looks weird? I'm gonna undo it because it looks like I did the other. I did it backwards, and I'm missing beads. Beads fell out because if you don't do a wrap loop yet, you gotta use all these tools, or a partial loop at least. You need to use all 3 tools. And then assembling will just take a little bit longer. There's less flow. All about the flow. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna unzoom so you can see. Yes, this is what it looks like. Okay, it looks horrible because it's like you get to see the back. But you just need to flip it. Make sure that the loops here are flat so that the flowers aren't flipping all over the place. Okay, now we are ready to make our toggles. So I do need to make the toggle. Okay, so this is what we have here. For our toggle, okay, let's go to page 4. All right, and I'm so excited about the toggle because it's a French beaded. My design philosophy when it comes to jewelry is I want to use as little ancillary products as I can when I'm making the jewelry. I don't want to, for things like ear wires, it's necessary to buy. And, for like brooch pins, it's necessary to buy. But for things that we can make ourselves, I want to make like chains or toggle clasps. I think I don't want you guys to buy that because one, it saves you on money on having to buy all these ancillary products, and 2, it's a lot more fun, right? Okay, so for the toggle clasp, we do need to use 22 gauge wire to make the toggle clasp, because if you use any other gauge, if you were to use 26, it would be too flimsy. Use 24, it's kind of okay, but it's okay for temporary use. But long term, you do want to use 22 gauge. Okay, so I have my 22 gauge wire here. Let's put on 27 beads onto the spool. $10, $15, $20, $25, $27. Okay. All right, let's zoom in. I'm going to leave a 1-inch tail about this much, or as little as you need to make a wrap loop. So whatever length you're comfortable with to make a wrap loop. But I just say 1 inch just for the heck of it. Some people need a longer wire. So let's do 1 inch. And we're going to make our loop. Twist, twist. Okay. Pull the loop open because we need our clasp part to go through this hole. Okay. Straighten out the wire. And wrap it around. because it is 22 gauge, it's a bit harder to wrap around, but you can do it. I believe in you. You can do it. Okay, trim and tuck. Okay, so now the coils are a lot bigger and it's a lot harder to tuck. Okay, let's put a bead on here. I'm going to do a yellow bead. Use whatever color bead you want. Okay, and we're going to make our loop. I'm going to leave it undone or partially done. Like this. Okay, now we're going to make the toggle part. So this is the toggle and the circle thing is the clasp. Okay, we need 30 beads on here. So that's probably enough. Again, we're going to need a 1-inch tail. Hold on to that. 5, 10, 15. Let's make a loop. I know, it's just loops, right? Continuous loops. Okay, pinch. Pinch it like this. So it resembles a bar. We go through the round loop. Another 15 bead loop. I'm going a bit fast because I demoed this in the first video. So you need me to demo it more slowly. Go watch that video. Okay, trim. And if you need to learn how to make wrap loops, it's all in that first video. Okay, I'm gonna put this here and make our wrap loop. Ooh. I'm trying to go a little bit too fast. All right, there we are. Okay, now we are going to assemble this onto our necklace. Now think about how you would put this on it yourself. Like where, like what, how is it more the flow of your, how you put your necklaces on you. So go like this, go like this. Where would I have the toggle part and where would I have the clasp? For me, I would have the toggle on this side. So I'm going to put the toggle on this side. Like this. And if you make a mistake here, you know, cut off the one that takes the least amount of time to do. So if you make a mistake connecting these, I would cut off the toggle clasp instead of the flower because that takes less time to do, to make. Or you can make links like I showed you in the first video. I showed you guys a lot of stuff in that video. So you can make links. And so if you make a mistake, you're cutting off the link instead of this unit or the flower unit. That takes a lot longer than a link. The link takes you like what? Probably should take you just a minute or two to make. Well, I guess the toggle clasp too, because it's just, it takes like a minute or two. Doesn't take too long. Okay, tuck this in. All right. finish making the loop on this one. And tuck. Now attach our loop. All right, yay. I'm excited to see all of your bracelets and necklaces and rings, because this is a technique that I've developed quite a few years ago. I'm just sharing it now. I think I've shared some basic techniques, but not the full extent of the techniques. Tuck that in. Zoom out here. And we're done. Okay, so when you have it on your neck, these flowers won't be all flippily flipping, right? So, and if they are, make sure that the wrap loops are not all, you know, twisted one way or another. Make sure they're nice and flat. If they're flipping, that is why. Because they're all, it could be twisted one way or another. Make sure they're nice and flat. Oh, I got my hair in the shot. Sorry. Okay. Okay. I've got a collar on, so it's not so great to wear a necklace, but there we are. Oh, let me put this here. This is what it looks like on your neck. Okay. We are ready to make a ring. So yay. Okay. And to make a ring, we'll need 26 gauge wire. And we'll need all the colors. This comes together really fast. And the original ring I made was made about 2-ish years ago. And it has gone through the washing machine and the dryer. And it's still in good shape. So, but if you squish it, if you sit on it, not so great, right? It's a nice little cute fashion ring for you to wear, but it's not going to last forever because someone can sit on it and it'll get squished. But the great thing is it doesn't take long to make and it comes together fast. I just said the same thing. So you need 35 inches of wire. Comes together fast, quick to make. And I just said the same thing. So 35 inches. So 24, 30, 35. All right, let's start out with yellow beads. We're going to do one bead basic and 4 rows for the center. And this is a newer technique. Let me get this started before I start talking. So about 1 inch top basic and about a 1 inch twisted wire loop. You don't really need that much because we won't be needing these tail wires, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. Again, like I said before, slightly different pattern, not different pattern, just a different way to make it. I just decided last night to change it all up. But it's a lot easier than the original way that I did it. So instead of a intermediate / advanced pattern, it's now just an intermediate pattern. Maybe even a confident beginner can do it. Okay. Because normally a daisy pattern is a beginner level pattern, but it's only an intermediate pattern because of it being on one continuous wire and the tight spacing that we needed. Again, 4 rows. So 1 bead basic, round top, round bottom, 4 rows. And now we're going to do our petals. The pattern that's best suited for the ring is either daisy C or B. So I would just do B. Okay. Where? Okay. So for daisy B, we need 10 bead continuous loops. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's make a knot at the end. I need 5 loops on this side and 5 on the other. If you're just joining us, we are making French beaded daisy jewelry. Say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I always love seeing the comments after the live stream. Okay, so we've got 5 here. Okay, do I have enough beads? I probably do. How many do we have? 1 more. 5. Oh, would you look at that? I strung in just enough beads. Once in a blue moon that happens. Right? I've had that happen more than once. More than twice. At least 10 times. But it always surprises me when it happens over the years. Okay, so let's pull this. Oh, again, we want to have the wire underneath the center so it's less visible. Wrap it around the top, basic wire. Okay, so undo any twists in the twisted wire. And we're going to do the same thing. Trim and fold this along the center and bend it. Fold along the center and bend with the 2 tail wires. Now with our working wire, wrap it around the center. Wires. Wrap it around 2 to 3 times or 3 to 4 times. Make sure it's nice and secure. And now we are going with our green for the calyx. Cut that. Let's bend our tail wires to the side. Get it out of the way. And let's make 5 10 bead loops. I know I'm probably going a bit fast, but you can always watch the replay because we're just making loops. You know how to make loops. So that wire did not want to cooperate. So those beads did not want to cooperate, but you move it where you want it to go. Okay. Again, oh, I have some bare wire space here. I'm just going to take my working wire and pull on it so it's nice and tight. And twist. And we need one more. Okay, so now let's take our working wire and wrap it around in between the petals and the calyx, right along the center so it's nice and secure. So now we have one long working wire, right? And we have these 2 tail wires. We don't need these anymore. We want to get rid of it. So wrap it around in between the calyx and the petals so it's secure, and then trim and tuck. I'm just going to trim that. And we're going to do the same thing with this other one. Just go right here. Trim and tuck. Take this, pull onto it so it's nice and secure. Okay. What happened with this? I didn't wrap it around nicely, or it didn't wrap around. That good. I'm going to wrap it around again. Okay. Did it get undone or something? Probably. Okay. So this is where I want it to be. Have the wire coming out in between 2 of your loops, the calyx loops. Okay. And I'm going to use the yellow bead. So that you can see the contrast. But use whatever bead you want for the band, right? You can even use gold or silver if you wanted to make it look like a gold ring or silver ring. Okay, so string on a bunch of beads. And we're going to wrap it around the finger that you want it on. That's how we're going to do sizing, right? Wrap it around your finger. Around here. Very scientific. Or you can wrap, like, string around your finger and then measure your string and then determine the length that you need. So that might be more accurate. All right. So take this and we're going to have the work. Oh, make sure this is nice and taut. And we're going to go between two of your calyx units, two of the calyx, and then wrap it around in between the petals and the calyx. Okay, let's make sure it goes on our finger. Oh, I didn't do that quite well. It's too tight. It's too tight. I need more beads. I need more beads. Okay, but the actually, I might make this for my daughter then. So, does she want a purple sample ring, a ring with purple wire? So I will make it for her. So just make sure that when you do the measuring of your finger that it goes through your finger. All right. Okay. Bring it back out at one of the spots here for the ring. And let's put on 5 beads. Let me do a different color so you can see. I'm going to do green so you can see the contrast from the yellow and the green. Okay, so I'm going to do 5 of the green. So push the beads down along the band. Now take the working wire, go underneath the band, and then bring it back up over. And now we're going to do 5 more beads. Push the beads so that it covers the wire. Bring it along the band, hold on to it, go underneath. Okay. Now we're going to keep going. Just keep doing 5 at a time. The less beads that you use, the more stable it is. But I also don't want to do like 3 beads or something like that. It'll just take you longer to make your band. There's no PDF for the ring. This was just a fun little project that I wanted to show you. And I used a lot more wire than I actually needed, but I also don't want you to run out of wire either. Okay, I am at the end and I don't really need 5 beads here, so just use as many beads at the end here to finish off the ring. So I probably need about 2 beads or 2 or 3 beads at the end here. Just 2 beads. Hold on to it and go underneath the calyx and wrap it around. Okay. And that's how we make a ring. Let's cut this here and tuck. Now, if you want to make the band a lot sturdier, you can use, I'm going to tell you how to make it sturdier using 24 gauge wire. At the end, when you're done making the flower, tuck all of the wires in, and then you can attach 24 gauge wire onto the middle here, and then make your band. So if you want a sturdier band, then you can use 24 gauge wire. So, but of course, I just want to do it on one wire, and 26 gauge wire has been okay for me, as long as I don't, if I don't sit on it or something. Okay, so Natia says you can also use 4 beads instead of 5. Yes, you can use 4 beads. I mean, over here I use 3 beads at the end. So yes, you can use 4 beads, maybe even 2 if you want a stronger band. You can use 2 beads if you want, because we're doing 26 gauge wire. If you're doing 24 gauge wire, you might not be able to get as little beads on there onto the band, but if you use 26 gauge wire, 4 beads would be perfectly fine. So this concludes today's lessons on the French beaded daisy necklace and also French beaded daisy ring. I'm going to stick around for just a little bit, see if you guys have any questions that I can answer. Let me know in the chat if you have any questions. This doesn't fit. Okay, so when you wrap your beads around your finger, make sure it actually fits before you start making it. But I just went with it instead of undoing it. So yeah. All right. So okay, let me see right here. Okay, looks like we have Zykia joining us, saying, "Ah, beautiful jewelry. Thank you. Thank you so much." Okay, so like I said, this concludes our lesson for today. If you have any questions, put it in the chat. I'm going to put the thing on the screen where you can take a picture of the QR code with your phone, and it'll take you to the info on more on this class, where you can get the PDF and also get the kit as well. Like I said, if you get the kit or the PDF, you can get continue access to the replay. If you didn't get the kit or the PDF, then this will be deleted at some point. I will leave it up just a little bit longer because we are at the end of the month already. So I want to give you maybe till like the mid-February before I delete the videos. So um, you do have a little bit of time to finish making these. So if you didn't get the kit or the PDF, you can still watch the videos until the middle of February. All right, that concludes our long lesson for today. It's close to noon now, so I'm getting hungry, so I need to go get some food. And I thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And um, what's going on next? I guess next week we'll get back to the UFOs, work on the unfinished objects. So if you have any ideas for me on what I should work on, if you have any requests, let me know and I'll try to work on those. So stuff that you've seen my projects. So whatever you've seen, let me know if you have any requests on what I should work on. Because sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it's last minute. So I will see everybody next week and have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. Again, if you are watching the replay, let me know in the chat where you're watching from. So, all right. Bye, everybody.